Now that EA have ditched the FIFA branding and have created their own football club, or at least that is what the game's title implies, it's time to see if this is truly a new era of gaming for football fans worldwide. So grab your shin pads, boots and balls and head out to the pitch to find out the answer to the question, should you play EA Sports FC 24? Now, I won't spend too long going over the gameplay itself, because after all, it is EA's yearly football title that we are talking about here. You already know what to expect, but there are a couple of new mechanics which, for better or worse, are present in FC 24. Firstly, the agile dribble that was present in last year's game has received a speed boost this time round. It is now more of an agile sprint, which is honestly quite a nice touch, as it allows you to keep your momentum whilst having tighter control of the ball. Next is the manual pass and manual lob pass. I can't say that I have found these features to be super useful so far, as often when I've tried to use them, I would have the ball stripped from me quicker than it takes Neymar to drop to the ground. So yeah, I haven't made up my mind about this one yet, but hey, if you like it, it's here. Free kicks have also seen a decent upgrade this time round. To be honest, with last year's game, trying to score a free kick was really painful, so improvements were necessary. So in FC 24, instead of trying to gauge the exact trajectory of the ball and measure the exact power in fear of the ball being sprayed wide, now free kicks will generally hit the target, meaning you won't be shooting your set pieces all over the place. The catch here is that you will need to use time finishing if you want to score consistently from these set pieces. But hey, if you can't be bothered with that, you will at least score more frequently than in FIFA 23. Manager mode has always been my favourite part of any FIFA game. However, there is no denying that especially in recent years, it has been handed the short straw by EA. Whilst there have definitely been some improvements this time round, it honestly still seems as though the devs don't really seem to care too much about it. Sure, there are these new tactics involving hiring coaches and adjusting training sessions for players to focus on either preserving energy or increasing sharpness, but honestly, that is about it. As much as these features could have been interesting, it seems like the bare minimum was done here, because for the most part, they just add a few extra menus to interact with. Also, I know many of us have been pining for online co-op for manager career, and I'm here to tell you that, once again, EA has not listened. Now let's move on to the player career. EA spent a lot of time talking about how they have revolutionized this mode. Now you have the opportunity to try and impress the clubs that you want to play for and have far more opportunities to move around, rather than be stuck at a dead-end club that refuses to sell you. When you pick a club that you desire to go to, you get a set of objectives that you must complete to have the opportunity to be offered a contract. Depending on the club you choose, these objectives may change or increase in difficulty. This was a decent addition to FC 24, but there hasn't been much of a change outside of this. It is just a slightly better version of last year's player career. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about Ultimate Team because I must admit that I'm far from a veteran in this game mode. However, unsurprisingly, it makes a return in FC 24 and honestly, it is good fun. There are a few more features geared toward new players to help them get to grips with this game mode, and you can definitely see that Ultimate Team is still where EA's heart lies, even if it is mostly for them. But hey, if you're a fan of Ultimate Team, there's more of it to enjoy. FC 24 has really gone above and beyond to rebrand itself and no longer look like the FIFA series. There are much more fancy stat graphics during matches, as well as a few moments where you actually get a first-person perspective on the pitch. Weirdly, these moments are often from the referee's perspective, as they go over to give a card to a player. You'll get to witness players pushing each other aside as they try to get in the ref's face as a punishment is dished out for bad play. Honestly, I don't know how I feel about this, especially because players can look a little too derpy in these moments. Now I know that quite a few people, myself included, were concerned about branding and licensing for FC 24. Especially after FIFA picked up their ball and ran off crying when EA didn't want to re-sign with them for an outrageous fee. The good news is, EA still has most of the licensing that it did in the previous entry. Even the UEFA Champions League is still here, and honestly, that is the one that I was most concerned would get dropped. As the title of this video suggests, I played the PC version of FC 24 for this review, but at this point, it pretty much directly mirrors the console version of this title. Aside from the fact that if you are so inclined, you can play football with a keyboard and mouse. But let's be real, if that is your choice over a controller for FC 24, let's just say you might need to seek some help. EA Sports FC 24 is exactly what you would expect from EA's yearly footballing simulator. As usual, the controls are a bit tighter, a few new mechanics have been introduced, and squads are updated. The quality of life improvements and the few updates to the career modes may very well be worth your while, but just don't be expecting anything too crazy from EA's new football club.